See, the problem here is that in the Republican Party, you have this big debate now. How much of a role should religion play? And we already know that among Republicans, evangelical Christianity has played a dominant role. The problem now is terrorism. You know, Giuliani presents himself as a fighter of terrorism. You know, Giuliani may say, oh, yes, I haven't had the perfect marriages. I've had 3. You know, I'm not the best moral candidate, but I will defend you. I will protect you from terrorists. And this question then of security versus faith is very critical at the moment. And it's driving the whole Republican Party primary. Whereas when you look at the question of religion, what Romney's trying to say is what we need to do is have faith and show the terrorists, look, we are also people of faith. You do not have to hate us. You do not have to attack us. Because when it comes right down to it, we believe in values, and these values will defend us more than anything else.
Let me jump in with this real quick because I don't know we're running out of time, but we only have a few more minutes left. But I want to talk about the faith-based initiative, something that was started by President Clinton, really enacted by President Bush, and now a lot of people are saying they're in favor of it, and it's divided along lines. Talk about that and whether or not does that breach the border of church and state.
I would say not. And I would say not because churches are a part of the community, and the state is responsible to interact with the community. At the moment, our government has diminished its role in the area of social services. Simultaneously, the church has increased its role and its participation and its interaction in the community in that area. And what is happening is the church is now assisting faith-based organizations to try to assist members of our community. And I believe it's fine as long as the assistance does not discriminate on faith grounds. And at the moment, it does not.
Professor Starr?
Well, what you have here is a 3-year dynamic. The urban centers, the cities, emptied out. You had white flight. That left crime and drugs and a whole bunch of horrible things like poverty in the inner cities. The church stepped in and said, okay, we're now going to help solve these social ills. And we will now expand not only to the inner cities, but to the suburbs and the exurbs, the large growing areas now where people are moving. You also have the corporation that is moving people about, and you have your job, you have your family, but you have no community. So the church is stepping in and saying, we're going to provide this community. What the government is doing is saying, okay, it used to be that the government was there to help organize you, but now the church is doing it, so we'll just join forces with the church and help provide this community. Whether it's effective, I can't say, because in some places it works, some places it doesn't. Whether it's legal, largely what you see is the laws that would apply to everyone else do not apply to the church. So there is, in principle, a violation of separation of church and state with faith-based communities.
And even in the Bible, it talks about render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and unto God what belongs to God. Absolutely. So there is some sort of separation there, at least in the words of Jesus Christ, about the separation between church and state. Give both of them what their equality, and give them what's respected of them. Do we see this playing? How do you see this playing out in 2008 as we close things down?
I believe that the church will be doing a lot more, and I disagree with Professor Starr's last remark, because in a lot of instances the churches that have received faith-based have had to do it on an independent arm, and that independent arm is not exempt from the state laws. So I believe that as a result of that move and that requirement on the part of a lot of faith-based institutions, that we will see a lot more.
Well, what you have here is the church trying to enlarge its presence in society. And as it enlarges its presence, it's trying to put its fingers into corporations, into politics, into schools, and that is what community is for. I mean, it's to integrate society. But what you really have here is a lot of ministers, especially a lot of the old line of partisan leaders, Pat Robertson, Jerry Falwell, the old Christian right that's now passing away. What they wanted to do was get the church involved as a leader in society, the dominant force. And what you have right now in society is people rebelling against that. You have large numbers of secular people rejecting the dominant role of Christianity in society but at the same time saying, yes, we need values, we need community.
All right, well, we got to wrap up. I mean, obviously, it's something we could be talking about for a long period of time. Professor Duncker, Professor Starr, we want to thank you for sharing with us as we continue our discussion on the separation of church and state. And as you know, that's a long-standing debate. Of course, you're not going to get any one clear-cut answer, but we just want to keep bringing opinions and keeping it open for you so that way you can be informed about that. And we thank them for joining us here in studio. We need to switch gears, and coming up next, the question is, are you a construction worker who wants to know what you can do if an accident occurs? Our legal expert will join us in studio, so don't go anywhere because Open is coming right back right after this.